can I reveal something I probably never said to you, Michael?
Okay.
So with my upbringing, the upbringing I was raised with, and even becoming a Karaite Jew, the attitude was the only times we should ever be talking about Jesus or call him Yeshua, it doesn't matter, is to be convincing the Christians to repent and deny him. That's the only interaction we should ever have with him. And before
so you're really breaking some rules with me right from the beginning.
And in fact, if you had shown me that a few years earlier, I would have said, here we go. We can bring this to all the Messianic Jews and the Christians and show them how Yeshua is false, because clearly he's contradicting himself. In other words, that would have been the approach. Let's find things like this and use them to rip Jesus apart and destroy their faith. That would have been the
Julius Singer. The anti-missionaries. I mean,
that was the culture.
They're following that
from.
very model. That is the Orthodox model.
And it was really interacting with people like you, who I could see your love and desire to serve the Creator of the universe. And it made me realize, we don't have to destroy. I mean, can't we find common ground and build faith rather than destroy faith? I hope we get to this thing of Matthew 23. I want to share something. So there's this great story, and it's a story of this man in Eastern Europe, and he's called Chazkel Lekavod Shabbos. It's a famous Jewish Hasidic story. Chazkel Lekavod Shabbos is this man, and he's I won't tell the whole story, but basically, it's this man, he's looking for a Rebbe. And he says, what's a Rebbe? What's a rabbi, a real rabbi? He says, a Rebbe is someone who connects you from the deepest place in your heart to the highest place in heaven. And my upbringing was, as a Jew, I can have a Rebbe, as an Orthodox Jew, as a Hasidic Jew, but the Christians can't have their Rebbe. They can't have Jesus. They can't have Yeshua. And it was meeting people who I could see their heart for the God of Israel and the Creator of Israel and the Jewish people, that it made me realize, if Yeshua is their Rebbe, I need to respect that. And if he taught these things, I need to see, what did he, not use it to destroy their faith, but what did it mean in its context? And if they want to understand that, I can use the tools that I've been granted by God, this obsession with details, and the opportunity to have an education. I had a bachelor's degree paid for by the state of Israel. That's no small thing. I consider that a gift from God. It's not something I take for granted. And if these people love their Rebbe and want him to connect them from the deepest place in their heart to the highest place in heaven, then that's between them and the Creator of the universe. What I can do is help them understand the things that he spoke and the things that he taught. And that's the approach that I've taken. I've gotten a lot of flack for this. I have a sister.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. You're Orthodox family. You're almost an outcast for that.
My sister describes me as having an unhealthy interest in Jesus. And when I discovered the things in Hebrew Matthew, I remember sitting in the apartment in Jerusalem in Arnona, where your ministry was based, and I remember you having that blue outfit, but that might just be me confusing. I thought you were, you had that kind of like outfit you used to wear. I'm pretty sure you were in that
on
outfit.
the programs. But
I think you were wearing this just sitting in your living room. That's what I remember anyway. I'm sticking with that story. And
I mow the lawn in that.
No, we were sitting in your living room there on those Middle Eastern style couches, and we were talking about this whole issue. And I remember saying, Michael, this is one of the most important things I've ever seen. You need to share this with people. And we sat for a long time, and I was showing you photographs of manuscripts and things like that. And I remember you saying, Nehemia, that's how he talks. Nehemia, I'm going to share this with people, and I can't tell them that I found something in a manuscript. They're not going to believe me. You need to share this with people. And I thought, well, I know that's one thing I'll never do. I can't share this with people. If I share this with people, I'll be tarred and feathered. I'll be driven out of the Jewish community. My cousin goes around telling everyone in the family, we think he secretly converted to Christianity. And you have to understand, where I come from, that's not a compliment.
Right. That's a serious
that would be
thing
like saying, we found out he's a serial killer. That's really, like, in their mindset, that's one of the worst libels you can speak against somebody, is to say they've converted to Christianity. And my point was, I can't share this with people. I'll be tarred and feathered. The Orthodox will get me. The Karaites will get me even worse. And I prayed about it, and I decided in the end, I need to share this with people. It's true. And this is what I've said to every critic that's come against me on this in the Jewish world. I said, show me in here what's not true, what isn't true.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if there's something not true, I want to know about it. I don't want to be wrong one more second than I have to be. And I say that about everything. That's part of my obsession with the truth. I love the truth. The truth, God speaks the truth. The truth comes from God, and I want to know what that truth is. And if there's something here that's not true, I say to my Jewish brothers and sisters, show it to me. But it is true. And I'm not telling people what they should believe. I'm not telling you to believe in Jesus. I'm not telling you not to believe in Jesus. I'm not telling you have to accept the Gospel of Matthew and Hebrew. If you want to accept the Greek down to every letter, you should be at that Western Wall at 4:30 in the morning with your big black fur hat. You know, because that's what he says in the Greek.
Exactly.
You know,
there's no way out of it. I mean, from the Greek words.
If you take what he says seriously,
right?
If you don't go down the path of born of a virgin, suffered under Pilate, and everything in between we ignore, and if you actually take what he says seriously, then you're stuck with him saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. Whatever they tell you to do, you got to do it. The right shoe, the left shoe, you better get busy.
That's right.